Hello and welcome back to In the Kitchen with Matt. I'm your host, Matt Taylor. Today, I'm going to show you how to make an easy bread pudding. Bread pudding is one of those classic dishes, super easy to make, very few ingredients. If I can do it, you can do it. Let's get baking. First, let's go ahead and preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 Celsius. And now I'm going to start with 2 cups of milk. And what we want to do is we want to heat this up in either a pot on the stove or like on low, medium low, or in the microwave. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for about a minute, 30 seconds. We just want it to get pretty warm. And then what I will also want to do is I want to heat up and melt my butter. About 30 seconds will do the trick. And then the reason why we want the liquid to be hot is so we can dissolve our sugar. Once again, the traditional method is to do this on the stovetop, but just to make it a little quicker and a little, in my mind, kind of easier just to do it in the microwave. You guys know that I like the microwave, but again, traditional method is in a pot on the stove, and I do it that way as well. All right, now that our milk is nice and warm, and our 2 tablespoons of butter is melted. Gonna go ahead and combine those two. Add in our 1/3 cup of white granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. Let's go ahead and whisk this together. And so if you were gonna do this on the stovetop, you would start with your milk, and then just put in your cubed butter, and then how you know that and then you would put in all the other ingredients. And then right when the butter has completely melted, then you know that your mixture is ready to go. Let's set this aside. And we're gonna let this cool down. We don't want it hot for when we add in our eggs. So now let's go ahead and beat our eggs. Come in with a whisk or a fork. Okay, just like that, so they're nice and beaten. We'll set this aside. And now, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and take some bread. You can use whatever kind of bread that you want. An eggy type bread, like a challah. This is a challah. I don't know if I pronounced that right. A challah or challah. And then also like a brioche style bread works really well. But again, you can use whatever kind of bread that you want. Also, if you have fresh loaf that you bought and you weren't able to eat it all and it became, a couple days old or almost a little bit stale or whatever, you can use that as well. So don't throw it away. So what we want is we want about 5 to 6 cups of bread that's been cubed. Now we want to cut this into about, I'm going to start with half of it. And we want about 2 inches cubes. Doesn't have to be exact. Just little chunks. So you get the idea. Let's just go ahead and cube up this bread. And these aren't really exactly 2 inches. More like an inch and a half. Okay, so I think that's gonna be enough. And now what we wanna do is I'm gonna just kind of set this aside here. All right, now I'm gonna get my dish. This is just an 8 by 11 dish. It's a glass dish. You can use whatever kind of dish that you want. Now I took some butter and I buttered the inside. That's really important. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our bread. Okay, so there we go. All right, and now we take our warm milk. Go ahead and add our eggs. Give it a good whisk. So essentially we just made a custard. Very nice. Now we're just go ahead and pour this over the bread. And then I'll kind of just push it down just a little bit. And if you do wind up adding a little bit too much bread, then you could always just put together like some milk and another egg or whatever. This looks good. Might be a little light on our mixture, but that's okay. Now let's go ahead and bake this for 30 to 45 minutes until it gets nice and golden brown on the top and the custard sets. All right, when it comes out of the oven, it'll look something like this. Nice and golden brown on the top. ready to go. Now you can eat this warm or you can eat it cold, however you like. Another thing that I want to mention, if you find that it's getting a little too brown on the top, you can just cover it with foil for the rest of the baking time. Also, if you're using a really stale bread, what you'll want to do is you want to take all your bread and put it in a bowl and then pour your liquid in with it and just let the bread soak up all the liquid. And you can do that with as well with non-stale bread, just another method. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is the top is going to be a little more crunchy, which if you like that, great. That's kind of how I like it. I don't mind if the bread doesn't soak up the liquid as much. But if you really, really want your bread to soak up that liquid, make sure to put it in a bowl and put all the liquid in there, and then you'll move the bread around and it'll soak up all the liquid really nicely. Okay, so now what we'll do is, another thing that's really cool is this is so versatile. You can add raisins, you could add craisins, you could add like fresh cut cherries in with it, cinnamon and sugar, whatever you like to do. What I like to do is I like to come in here and just top it off with some powdered sugar. Like that. Doesn't that look amazing? And I'm gonna come in here and serve up myself a slice. Yeah. Bread pudding. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, the bread pudding is done. Really, really easy to make. If I can do it, you can do it. It kind of reminds me of like French toast casserole. But yeah, and you can just eat it like this, or you could even put maple syrup on there, or however you want to eat your bread pudding. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions or comments, put them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to dive into this. Oh yeah. I'm grabbing my fork.